Come on, get this guy. Get this guy.
You son of a...
Always duck. Always duck. Duck.
Oh, no! Welcome back to another episode of Saturday Afternoon Gaming. I'm your host, Gaming Jay, and today we're hopping into the Nintendo classic known as Kung Fu. This game was also released in the arcades. Today I have a friend joining me, Jordan. Would you like to say hello?
Hello.
That was a very unusual hello, but okay. Jordan is here playing Kung Fu with us today. He is actually pretty good at Kung Fu. Got a little obsessed a few weeks back.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. I guess we will see when we actually play. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and hop in here to Game A. So I'm going to start us off playing. And you can sort of see somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing, and then we're going to hop over to Jordan and see.
He's being very modest.
Yeah. So we kind of like rediscovered this game. So my friend Jordan here like collects Nintendo games, and I was over at his house one day, and we were just looking for a game to play, and we kind of stumbled upon this game, right?
Yeah. This is actually one I've had since I was a kid. I remember going to one of those old game stores back in the 90s.
I just punched that guy in the crotch. Did you see that? Were you paying attention?
Yeah, I saw that.
Anyway, sorry, continue.
Yeah, I got this game back in the 90s, when game stores were maybe a little more prevalent in my area where I lived. Not as much now, actually, but at that time, Nintendo games, as the new systems, oh man. Really?
I didn't know what to do. There was a knife guy behind me. There was a boss. That was a boss, by the way. Anyway.
Yeah, at that time, new systems were kind of evolving, so the NES was falling a little bit out of favor because it kind of became that old, technology, and everyone wanted to upgrade to the newer thing, the Super Nintendo, the 64, as it kind of got, further and further on.
We were talking about today just how, like, we have given away so many of our old systems. If we'd kept it from when we were a kid, how much we still would have had.
Oh, it's unreal. That's unreal.
You just got rid of it. You didn't think you wanted it.
But yeah, I remember buying this game for $3, and that was completely boxed with the instructions and everything, $3. But
that's crazy.
Yeah, and then this is one of the original black box games that Nintendo, that first set that they came out with. And this one's 1984, and actually it was first released in Japan as Spartan X.
Yes, it was. I actually had
this was sort of re-released for North America.
Down.
Yeah,
kind of weird to go from Spartan X to Kung Fu.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe they changed the names of the characters. Did they not? Because the guy you're fighting here, this is Thomas.
Yes, this is Thomas, and we are trying to save Cynthia or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's Cynthia. That sounds right.
And the bad guy is a mysterious Mr. X.
Yeah.
So Arrested Development fans will know who Mr. X is. Oh.
And actually, interestingly enough, I believe this game was one of the first to have a voiceover in the NES game.
Oh, interesting.
So when they had that laughing track, which we'll get to it coming up, I'm sure. But
well, I don't know if I will, but maybe you can.
The laugh track was actually one of the first instances of Nintendo putting an actual. That's an actual voice. That's not a computer generated. That is an actual voice.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've hit game over.
That was quick.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's alternate. So I just did one round of playthrough. You guys kind of got to see what the game was like. It's a side-scrolling game, very simple levels, very short, just sort of punching dudes who just sort of seem to stream out of nowhere after you. Like, I don't know who these guys are. But anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Jordan, and we'll give him a shot here.
Let's try. We're doing game A here?
Yeah, go ahead and game A.
Oh, boy.
Now, so we rediscovered this game just playing one afternoon, and then you really got into playing it.
Yeah, I don't know. This odd obsession... This odd obsession came out of nowhere, and I don't know, I sort of got... I'm extremely rusty now, apparently.
Oh, man, you're so rusty. You're doing so bad.
So I sort of got this weird hook into this game, and I sort of just couldn't stop playing it for
because you were
at least a month or two. I was really sort of heavy into it at one point.
There were a few weeks where you were like texting me every other day your new high score.
That's true.
And we had this running debate. When you get to 500,000 points, you get an extra life.
Yeah.
And when Jordan made it to 500,000 points, got the extra life.
Yeah.
And then You were thinking...
No, 50,000.
50,000?
Isn't it 50,000?
Oh, whatever it is.
Yeah, 50,000 is the... yeah, sorry, go on.
And then you got that extra life, and then we thought maybe if you get to 100,000, you'll get another extra life. And you made it to 100,000, but you didn't get an extra life. And then I sort of said, well, I don't think you're going to get an extra life.
And I didn't believe you, obviously.
You didn't believe me.
And I worked very hard to try to disprove you on that. But,
you made it up to like 2 million points before you finally accepted that.
I got, you know what, I think I got as high as maybe 3.5 million, I want to say.
Wow.
Jeez, this is just brutal.
This part is hard. I find the first level is not that bad, but the second level here...
Oh my... Punch him! Oh, man! What is
terrible.
That? Okay, I literally just got... that was brutal.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try this here. I can do this. Yeah, I really want to disprove you. Because I thought, okay, there's... I'm thinking, okay, there's no way that, there's going to be only one free life for the entire game. That sounds ridiculous, but
it's an old school arcade game, right? Like that's what they did.
It's just it's extremely unreasonable, I feel.
Yeah,
but
how games were. Those little elves, by the way, they can like do like flips on top of you. Oh, here's the boomerang dude. So that's the second boss.
Yeah.
Like, look how easy that was once you kind of get past the dragons.
So I think this next level, if my memory serves me, is sort of the one that's a little...
Is it with the bees? Or the butterflies?
It has the butterfly moths, and then I think the boss is the one that's more difficult. That kind of shoots the...
yeah, he's like the teleporting monkey or something. Yeah. Oh, there we go.
And then there's the voice, right? There's your ha-ha. So that is a real voice track.
Yeah.
Help me, Thomas.
Well, what a weird name for a ninja, Thomas.
Oh, no,
like of all the names.
The moths is the next one.
Oh, the moths is the next one. Yeah. So those little Keebler elves can like do spin flips on you.
Keebler
or they
elves.
Look a little bit like Link from Legend of Zelda or something. Oh, that was all crotch shots right there.
Yeah. Oh no! Oh, come on. There's the free life.
Yeah, so you just got an extra life.
So there's the 50,000. So that's the one you get for your entire playing career.
And the dragon, you get a dragon. Oh, there's
Louise,
oh, there you go.
On.
Look at your life, man. One more.
And, okay, you know what's actually really frustrating too is so these little elf guys. Elf guys.
Yeah.
You don't know when they're going to do a somersault jump. So, see, they're doing nothing here, but it's randomized when they sort of jump into their little somersault flip. So if they do that, you really have no recourse to block that. Unless you randomly time a kick.
Oh, he timed it. Look at this grin on his face, that kick. Huh.
Okay.
So yeah, you just kind of have to get lucky with these little elves.
Do you remember those Keebler elf commercials from when we were kids?
Vaguely.
Do you remember? And they're coming out of the tree and they're cooking. They're baking.
They sold cookies.
They're baking cookies in the tree, and then they come out of this, hollow tree, their little tree home with the cookies.
I was confusing them with the Snap, Crackle, and Pop elves for a second there.
Right, yeah.
But yeah.
Also popular in the 1990s, and I
think they're still popular. Rice Krispie treats will never go out of fashion.
Yeah, true.
I used to eat those when I played NES.
Yeah.
So you said the original title for this game was Spartan X, which is true. Actually, okay, so do you know... So we can make fun of the fact that they've named just...
There was a somersault guy.
That they've named this ninja Thomas. But do you know why they named him Thomas? That's some random trivia for this game.
I'm thinking, I have an inkling that did it have to do with a movie at the time or something?
It was a movie.
I don't know the exact story, but...
A well-known martial... Oh, there's another flip.
Oh, look, and it came backwards. Yeah, I know it's something to do with a movie, but...
Yeah. There was a Jackie Chan movie. Oh, there you go.
That's the, we call that the power move.
I call that the kick and pray. That wasn't planned. There's a Jackie Chan movie called Wheels on Meals. And
okay.
You're playing as Jackie Chan right now.
Right. This sounds. It's coming back to me. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's kind of weird. Like this game is based on a Jackie Chan movie. You are Jackie Chan, but they made no attempt to really sort of cash in on. Maybe Jackie Chan wasn't popular enough at the time. Here are the moths, by the way.
Yeah.
These things actually aren't too bad once you kind of know like where.
Ah, jeez.
You know when
it's really about timing that. See.
Yeah.
Get out of here! Get out of here!
There you go. So you only have one life left to do, or you have one extra life possibly.
Yeah. So this is the boss that is a pain.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like how your guy knows. So here's the monkey, by the way, the monkey wizard or whatever.
See it.
He's like throwing.
No! Oh no!
He's throwing a mix of fireballs, snakes, and butterflies.
You really got to get him into. You got to get those ones where he's just when he throws it sort of down on an angle towards your feet. Those are the ones that you can't. It's hard to dodge those because you're so close to him.
Right.
Oh jeez.
2 and
See
1.
that's yeah. See, I mean that's just being careless.
And like, what kind of dojo or temple is this? It's like it's got a real pest problem of dragons, butterflies, and then just like random people who walk around.
They didn't keep up their upkeep here. That's why.
Apparently. Oh, you just. Oh!
Yeah. See, and one hit from this guy will take off half your power.
Yeah,
almost. It's really
that guy's really hard.
It's
to
brutal.
Beat.
All right, here,
let me
we'll pass it back to Gaming Jay.
Shot. Yeah. All right. So now you've seen. So now I have to clearly outdo Jordan here. I was.
Oh wait, what floor was I on? That was the 4th floor.
Third
floor? No, it's no, 4th floor. So you gotta get to at least the 4th floor.
Yeah. So, I was saying before. Oh, damn it! You earn a dragon when you beat the game. So every time you beat the game, you earn a dragon. So this game was an arcade game originally, and you can sort of see that where it's like, sort of repetitive gameplay. They're very stingy with the extra lives, and it's just all about doing it over and over and over again.
It's all about stealing little kids' quarters.
Yeah. The original pay-to-win arcades.
I love these old arcade styles.
Yeah. So why do you think you really got into this one so much? And has there been another game that you've gotten into in the same way?
I mean, I guess I have a handful of original NES games that I really like, but I feel like games like this, the gameplay is simple. It's very good.
Nice.
It's very simple to play.
Yeah.
The controls are easy. I don't know. It's like sometimes these kind of games get addictive because they're so simple, but they're still difficult to advance in them, even though the controls are simple and it's sort of I guess easygoing in that sense. But I don't know. It becomes addictive for some reason because you sort of get to it
right off the bat.
You kind of get to a point where jeez.
Oh god,
you're in trouble. No, you gotta jump backwards.
It's too hard. The controls are a little tricky, guys.
Actually, I think also, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong on this as well, but this is one of the first side-scrollers where you could actually jump vertical. Oh. I think most side-scrollers was literally just back and forth, but this one, the vertical jump was actually something that was, I guess, not as common in the side-scrollers at the time.
I don't know if that's true, but I
may be wrong
have no
on
reason
that.
to doubt it, basically.
Full disclosure, I may be wrong on that, but...
Actually, interesting... So the creator of this... Oh, God. I was just at the dragons, too. They were just starting to send humans at me. The dragon part, I am the worst at, guys. I'm warning you right now. But the creator of this, do you know what other game he made?
No.
He made the original, not Street Fighter 2, but the original Street Fighter number 1.
Oh, really?
Yep. Wow. And he later, so you press up to jump in this, which kind of makes sense because in all fighting games you do that. So like the control scheme here, oh my god,
yeah, you can't kick the snakes.
It's so
snakes you can only jump or hit them when they're falling.
All right, here. I'm just gonna turn it back over to you. We need a show for the people, and I don't want them to continue to watch me die. But yeah, you press up to jump, there's a kick and a punch, and there's like a low kick and a high kick and stuff. It's very similar, like an archetype for what would follow with Street Fighter 1. That creator, though, he didn't make Street Fighter 2, but he went on to make games like Fatal Fury, King of Fighters, Samurai Shodown, which those are some games we've played on the channel already. So interesting to see the genesis of games sometimes.
I wonder, I mean, I assume a lot of these games were sort of, I don't know, constructed by the same developers. I mean, how many developers within, I guess Nintendo were developing games at the beginning, let's say?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I don't know. I mean, everyone knows like Shigeru Miyamoto,
right? Of course,
and there were a couple of like Nintendo R&D teams that made things like Metroid and like some of the big Game Boy games. I mean, for every big publisher, they had a handful of people, even in the early days. But I think, like nowadays, the pool is so big of developers. But like back in the day, there you go. You were kicking past them.
I don't know what was happening there.
Yeah, but nowadays, it's like there's so many more people.
Yeah.
Like there's so many more games. For most of these old games, you can go and look up, and you can find the developer of most classic games has probably made something else that you've played.
Yeah.
Which is kind of
cool. I mean,
cool.
that makes sense.
I mean, the developer for this also made Moon Patrol, which is another classic arcade game that I don't think you know of, but
I don't. Yeah, that one
I've played that on my channel.
Yeah.
But it's a classic too. Okay, another random bit of trivia for this game. So it is based on a Jackie Chan movie, but it was originally supposed to be based on a Bruce Lee movie from 1972. Really? Yeah,
wow.
The game started off about Bruce Lee's Game of Death. And the game kind of had nothing to do with the plot of Game of Death. And then I guess, I don't know, the Jackie Chan movie came out and they were like, let's just make it about this. And this game, although it is about the Jackie Chan movie, has nothing to do with the movie other than having the character names. So
yeah,
it's kind of like they were trying to tie it into the movie, but they also kind of just didn't care.
It's funny. I mean, a lot of these games have obvious histories of construction over the years, and I always wonder how these games got started. I mean, we're a couple people sitting around a table or watching a movie and said, "Oh, that would be great for a video game." Back in the early '80s, it makes me wonder what was the thought process. Like, how did this sort of come to fruition? But I mean, I guess it's probably histories and all that. I assume for a lot of games, maybe.
And I mean, you can look at a game like this, and you can say like these days it's incredibly simple, right?
Yeah.
But that's just because we know like standards have been developed for fighting games, like in Street Fighter 2 and stuff. Like, imagine playing this and you had never even heard of Street Fighter. Like, this is people were just starting to figure out how do we bring a fighting game into a video game, and they didn't even know, right? Like,
yeah, that's true.
So just trying to figure it out. Oh, you got your extra life.
Yeah, see, nothing I can do about that.
See, these are the only guys who I believe know Kung Fu, the knife guys.
The knife guys?
The other guys, I don't know.
Don't you think Thomas should have a weapon? I mean, you're going to come to this dojo with all these enemies. You're trying to save, this girl that's been stolen from you, but you bring no weapons?
His fists are his weapons.
Oh, that's true. that's a fair point.
They could be registered lethal weapons.
That's a fair point.
Man, this guy...
Jeez.
Come on, get him!
Get him, Bob!
This guy does not get knocked back when you hit him, so you just gotta, hit him and... Like, one more kick, man. One more kick.
One more kick and I'm done.
Yeah! Okay, run. Don't let that guy get...
Okay.
Watch out for the elves. Oh, they're sending them all at you. They're like, don't let him escape.
Man. I'm like far from the end.
No!
Oh, whoa! I don't know what happened there.
I can't believe you lived.
You know what it was? I got when they got on me there. They technically what they're doing there is grabbing you.
Yeah.
That's sort of how it's explained in the instruction book.
To death.
They're grabbing you, yeah. But I thought I was at the end of the stage there. Wow.
You pressed down.
That was literally a sliver.
Even if you thought you were at the end, why wouldn't you keep pressing forward?
No, because you press forward to end the level, and then it automatically stops.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't have to press anything at the end there.
Okay, well, anyway, you survived. And now you're on to fighting butterflies.
Luckily.
So, what's the most number of dragons you've earned in this? So that's how many times you beat it in a row?
Yeah, I think... I want to say 3, maybe once. And honestly, that's...
Look right in the back of the head.
Look at how much power that took off. See, like... This is like
what are you supposed to do
2 hits
there?
And you're done.
Did you ever get good at beating this guy, or was it just luck?
It's luck. You got to get the rhythm, and hopefully he doesn't... It's those times when he throws it down.
Right.
That's the trouble spots. But I mean, ooh, look how faster that one went a lot faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really got to sort of do this with precision, and sort of get a full health bar.
Right.
To get to the end here, or else you just get a little more of a chance.
Oh!
So you can't do anything. See, I'm frozen there. I can't hit him. Oh, shoot.
Get him! Yeah!
Oh,
there you go.
Go.
All right.
Go.
2 lives, last level. I think you got this. We're going to be able to show these people the end of the game.
You'll be able to see Mr. X.
Mr. X, the mysterious Mr. X.
In the flesh.
Yeah.
Live and in person.
So, okay, we need to invent a backstory. Why did he kidnap Sylvia?
You know what? Maybe he saw that Jackie Chan movie, got jealous.
It's always jealousy.
Can we relate this to real life? Maybe, I don't know. He got jealous watching the movie in real life.
Okay.
In 1972 or whatever it was. No, that was the other one.
That was the Bruce Lee movie.
Right.
I think the Jackie Chan movie came out in the 80s. This game came out in 84, I think.
Jeez.
Oh, jeez. You can get this game, by the way, on cell phones.
Can you really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Would you play it on a cell phone or no?
I gotta be honest with you. I kind of like the aesthetic of playing on a retro system.
Yeah.
I've never been, a gamer that sort of plays with a handheld system. I don't know. I never...
Now, does that mean you wouldn't play with a Game Boy, or does it mean like you don't like
let's say Game Boy's the exception. Yeah, I mean,
okay.
I don't play any games on my phone.
Yeah.
I just never really got into it for some reason. I don't know.
I completely agree. I find the lack of tactile buttons to be... Oh, here's Mr. X, by the way.
So this is actually a weird... This is how you beat him.
He looks like he hasn't trained. He just looks like some punk.
It's funny because there's a weird little glitch where if you just do that, you can get him. So
and Sylvia's like right
there.
there.
We saved her.
All right.
Look, he's lifting her up off the ground there.
Yeah. Now, the funny thing is, you immediately go back to level 1, so she probably instantly gets kidnapped again.
So, every time you obtain a dragon, beating the game, you do... once you go back to the beginning and start playing again from floor 1, the enemies are faster. The enemies that throw the knives, that they throw faster. Everything sort of increases in speed. And you also get... there's more guys as well. There's an additional character enemy added. Oh, shoot.
I could definitely see this being the kind of game where, like, once you get the rhythms down, you can probably do really well.
Yeah.
Except for that magical ape boss.
You know, I find what happens is you get... if you sort of, mess up one little part, you kind of get a cascading domino effect where a bunch of enemies will get you. Right. And also, when you get to these, redoing the stages, now that I have one dragon, they take off more power when they do get you. Oh, see, and also...
this is annoying.
So, guys also now will keep coming with the boss. So, see, in the first round, these guys didn't keep coming. So now you're battling the boss, and you got to watch your back, which actually makes a big difference.
That does make a big difference, actually. Oh, see, there you go.
It's these guys that are trouble, I feel.
Yeah.
So he's going to keep following me.
Just outrun him. Oh, jeez.
Whoa!
And then the guy's like, he went to the second floor. Forget it.
See, this is the part that annoys me, because it's exponentially harder now, but there's no more free lives.
Yeah.
There's no more free lives. That's it. I have 2 lives. After that, it's done.
Well, there needs to be an end. They didn't program the last level, so they're like, you got to die eventually.
But could they not say, at 2 million, maybe you get another free life or something? Like, give the gamer something to sort of strive towards.
See, I think you're thinking of it like an NES game, and I'm thinking of it like an arcade game. Like in an arcade, it's like, you don't get any extra. Like, 1 extra life is a big deal.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
But, I mean, you're not unreasonable, but at the same time,
yeah,
I don't expect much from these old games.
No, that is a fair point.
Do you ever find, like, when you're playing these games that require a lot of, like, repetitive attention, that sometimes you just start to do worse and worse and worse at things that you used to be able to do better at?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, jeez.
It's just like your attention gets worn down or something.
Yeah.
You beat him. You beat that guy.
That guy, actually, it's oddly enough. So this guy and the monkey guy.
Yeah. The monkey wizard, whatever.
The monkey wizard. Those ones are the hardest when the enemies keep coming, because, you're trying to dodge the boomerangs. Like, he throws them high and low. The guys are coming. The guys are throwing the knives. If I can get another dragon, the 3rd level, those knives are thrown supersonic speed. I hope we get to that. I can show you. It is unbelievably difficult to dodge these knives that just whip across the screen once you get to that point.
Right.
I mean, they really are stealing quarters at that point from kids,
Yeah. I mean, they sort of had the mentality back in the day, even for these, like, home console editions, that they weren't going to tone the difficulty down all that much.
Right.
Like, games in the early days really had high difficulty.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we both grew up playing NES and stuff, and like a lot of our favorite NES games are really hard, especially by today's standards.
Yeah, and it's funny. I feel games now are longer but easier.
Yeah,
does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, like back in the day, they only programmed 5 levels into this game, but they're all really hard.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, they would program like 40 levels and like an overhead map and like power ups and stuff, but there'd be checkpoints and save points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go.
There you go.
Weird jump at the end there.
Man, you're flying through this. Like, you had more trouble getting through it the first time.
I know, it's true.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
it's like you've remembered.
Yeah.
Your muscle memory.
Muscle memory's coming back. It's like riding a bike.
Yeah. Only a video game.
Yeah. No, these are the ones that get harder.
So what's your favorite black box NES game? So actually, we should say for a second, Jordan has a ton of old NES games. His thing is he loves buying them complete in box.
Yeah.
Like instructions, foam, posters, everything.
Yeah, it's a bit of an ordeal to get those, but
yeah,
it's what I do.
What's your we'll come back to your favorite black box game in a sec, but what do you think is your like the best game that you own, like your most cherished,
most
complete
cherished
in box?
I mean, if we're just going by a game, see, I'm frozen there. Dang.
Oh my god!
like ridiculous.
Ah, the down one. You can't predict those.
I think one of my all-time favorite games, definitely for NES, is probably Rainbow Island.
That's a good one.
Which is is that the sequel to Bobble?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a weird game because it has nothing to do with Bobble.
It's a little more obscure. And I don't even remember where I originally got that game because I had it as a kid. But it's just, you're Bobby going through the rainbow world, shooting your rainbows, and you have to collect gems to spell rainbow in each level. And there's just, something about that game that I just, I don't know, really like. But that's...
Oh, you punched his head off!
Dang. Yeah, see, that doesn't take any power off, unfortunately.
Oh, so you don't want to punch his head off. Interesting.
Unbelievable.
Man.
But, I think Rainbow Island.
Rainbow Island.
I could probably say Mario 3 is definitely up there in favorites, which is...
Right.
I guess that's a standard, probable response for a lot of people. That was definitely a defining game for the NES, I feel.
I think that was a defining game for games.
Yeah. Graphics, sound, just the gameplay, everything was really heightened, I feel, with Mario 3.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And...
Sorry. Oh, my gosh.
Didn't want to interrupt you there.
No, that's okay. That is difficult.
I'll give it one more shot here. And we'll start wrapping up soon.
Wow.
But yeah.
My heart's beating a little bit.
Really?
Because you kind of get into it and you sort of get that stress level.
Yeah.
You got to get a little raised stress level playing this.
I think so you collect the games in box.
Yeah.
I remember even before you kind of went on your like renaissance of collection over the last few years, you had a bunch of games that you'd found at like yard sales over the years, right?
Yeah, it's nostalgic to think about, but you think 15 years ago I used to go to garage sales, and I would immediately look for the NES games, and there they would be underneath a table in an old cardboard box. It'd be a system, maybe 5 or 6 games. Yep. They'd be asking 30, you'd offer 25, you'd settle on it's those were the days where you could just get things for literally nothing.
Yeah.
You could add to your... I got... Come on. Don't let him hit you with that nightstick. There you go.
Whatever. By the way, I'm doing nothing but crotch shots.
Yeah.
nothing but groin. Let's get
It's good. You get the most points.
Yeah.
Punch shots are the most points. Yeah. But yeah, I remember picking up, Super Mario 2 boxed. I probably got it for $3. Two or $3, completing the box, and to buy that now, it's just substantially more. So
it's like 15 loose. Like, forget about the box.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but yeah, those are the days, going to garage sales and getting those great finds when people were switching over their systems to the newer stuff, and the NES just sort of sat on a shelf, and it was just to get rid of it. But now you don't. I go to garage sales all the time, and I never ever see NES games.
No,
I can't. It's probably
PS1 is like unusual.
Yeah, there's a time shift. So now people are just sort of getting rid of that stuff, right? As they move to PS4 and PS3 and whatever, right? We'll start seeing PS3s more common, in the next few years. But those were the days.
And earlier in the video we talked about like gaming regrets of getting rid of old stuff.
Oh gosh.
Remember when you had a Power Glove?
You're gonna remind me of this now.
So Jordan had a Power Glove in box. It was a little tattered, but in box.
The box was in bad shape, but you know what? Before I sort of went into this again renaissance of recollecting, I came across it in an old box of stuff. I said, I don't need this. Sold it at a garage sale to a kid. I'll never forget him. Bought it for $15, I think. And he has my Power Glove out there somewhere. And I remember buying that for $3. I was in a junk store, in a downtown junk store. Got it for $3. And that was
crazy.
Complete in the box. Box, again, was very tattered. But
even without the box, Power Gloves these days are like $100.
Yeah. And I paid $3. I remember distinctly. Yeah. Do you have any regrets like that? Anything you got rid of over the years?
I got rid of so much. When I was a kid, I had an NES collection that at least had like somewhere between like 50 and 80 games. I don't know where any of them are.
Wow, that's actually
none of them.
That's a substantial 50 to 80 games is substantial.
Yeah, they were like my dad's before mine, right?
Wow.
But like I had a Super Nintendo with like probably like 30 games. I have a couple of them left.
Wow.
But maybe like 5, Like I have purchased games since, obviously.
Yeah.
But of my like original, Oh, I got an extra life.
There's your free life, yeah.
Yeah. Of the original stuff I had, and I think several years back.
Oh, that was nice. That was sweet, yeah.
Several years back, I went over to my mom's, and she said she found some of my stuff in the garage and handed me a box. And there's like a Game Boy on my shelf right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's my Game Boy from when I was a kid. I beat Link's Awakening. I beat Wario Land. I beat all of my Game Boy games.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I have tried turning it on. It does not seem to work. So
I can't believe you had almost 80 games as a kid.
Yeah.
That's unheard of, man. That is unheard of.
My dad used to buy games like all the time. Shoot. I'm not as good at the butterflies as you.
That's all right. Yeah, I gotta punch and kick those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's you think back on these collections, and I mean, I remember going to Toys R Us as a kid, 7 years old, and you go to get a brand new game. My birthday or whatever it was, I'd get a new game.
Did you see what happened?
Yeah,
there?
you get like a double.
Both of them.
Yeah, that's tough.
And then he finished me off with the fireball.
That's tough.
Anyway.
Yeah, you go to Toys R Us and you pick out the game. I remember buying Double Dragon at Toys R Us with my mom, and they're all hanging on their little hooks and behind that glass case, and you have to get an employee to come with that special key to open the case, and I remember that very distinctly. It's just
remember that glass case was magical because it's like NES games, Sega Genesis, all this stuff just sitting behind.
Yep.
Whenever an employee opened it, I feel like even if I wasn't buying something, I came and watched.
Yeah. No, those fun times. Come on, get this guy. Get this guy.
You son of a...
Always duck. Always duck. Duck.
Oh,
no! Double kill.
KO.
Double KO.
He's just frozen there going,
yeah.
It sucks.
What was, thinking back on that collection you had as a kid, was there any games that stood out to you that you remember that you don't have now? Like any classics that you thought, man, I wish I had that now?
I mean, there's standards like Contra and stuff like that.
Oh, gosh, you had Contra?
Yeah.
That is an expensive game, even just with the cart only.
I've looked at buying it again, and...
I mean, it is a classic.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. It's so hard to remember like exactly what I had. Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's tough.
I remember as a kid, me and the neighborhood kids would occasionally link up all of our like loose change together and go to a video store and like rent the same games over and over.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So it was like Battletoads was one of them because we all loved Battletoads, but it was like freaking impossable.
Well, that's a great game. That's very
I
difficult.
always wished I owned it.
That's a very difficult game.
Yeah. I think that one, 2 players makes it harder.
And you know what? That's one game I don't have with the box and everything. It's hard to get that one.
You should get that.
I have the cart, but to get it with the box, I think I have cart and instructions actually, and that was from when I was a kid. I had that from being a kid.
Right. I beat it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that would be a nice one to have in the box. I think.
Even the case for that one looks cool. It just looks like a cool game.
I think one of the more I guess games that stand out for me that I had as a kid is Mega Man 2 that I have boxed with the instructions, and I got that at a garage sale. Yeah, and then that's what I've sort of held on to over the years. But
speaking of boxes, we have another friend who doesn't collect Nintendo games, but
I know where this is going.
He still had all these NES boxes from when he was a kid. Like he kept every single one of his NES games in the original boxes, and maybe like 2 years ago he just threw them all out.
Yeah, he needed the space, he said.
Yeah,
it didn't cross his mind to save it.
Oh man, if he had checked with either of us.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it happens.
He's throwing out like Ninja Turtles 1 the box and like double knife. Like he's running, he's scared. Oh, no! I got a knife to the butt.
You got sandwiched there.
Yeah.
That was a good run.
Yeah, it was a good run. I'm going to turn it over to you, but we should start wrapping up.
Sure.
So ultimately, what are your thoughts on Kung Fu here? Who do you think would enjoy this game, or why would you suggest people play it?
Oh, again, I got to go back to just being easy controls.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of the simplicity of it, it does become a little bit addictive, to be honest. I mean, I guess it's somewhat repetitive, but there's something about it that just drives you to keep going forward, to get those dragons. I don't know what it is, but...
I mean, many good games, like Tetris is repetitive, but like Tetris is considered a really good game.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and it's addictive. And
I was thinking that too, and I mean, again, Tetris is also, again, one of those games that kind of doesn't have an end until you just completely die.
Right.
Because there's no end. It's just, it gets so fast and that's it.
Yeah. Although there's no bosses in Tetris like
True.
this. I wonder what a boss in Tetris would be like.
I don't know. You could like redesign something where you're having to clear the screen, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's like something fighting you on the bottom. And you're trying to get it.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's so many versions of Tetris. Somebody must have done that.
Yeah.
Bosses in Tetris. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. This game, you know what? If it wasn't for you, I never would have given it a second shot. But like when you were like, here, let's just play this one. I was like, yeah, okay. After about 5 minutes, I kind of felt like, yeah, I'm done. But you want to keep going. But then like the more you play it, it does kind of get addictive in the sense of like you want to figure out how to beat it. And it's like a very simple system, but you kind of want to get better and better at it. So yeah, I totally see it sort of has this sort of fun, repetitive, but like a very rewarding feeling when you do get good at it.
Yeah, and I think it's also, I mean, the bosses. So, whoops, jeez. I mean, I know he's going to throw the boomerang either up or down, but it's not defined. It's not like every time you come... Oh, can I make it to the end? Yes! It's not like every time you come to this exact boomerang boss, he always throws it up first.
Right.
So it'll alternate, so you don't know. So there's a little bit of, sort of variety in what's going to happen. So, that does make it also a little more challenging, because it's not like you're just repeating a pattern that's identical
like you know
every
exactly
time.
how to beat the boss.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. So those are our thoughts on Kung Fu here, guys. And also, I think if you're a Jackie Chan fan, you'll enjoy this game. There's lots of Jackie in this game, obviously. Nominally, anyway.
Nominally, yeah.
Yeah, I still find it weird they made like a Jackie Chan game for NES, and like they didn't really try to cash in on that in any way. Because like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, they sought out Mike Tyson's brand for it. Punch-Out was a game before Mike Tyson ever got involved.
Now, was Jackie Chan ever involved in the discussion of this game? Or I don't even know the history of that.
I don't even know if he knows this game exists. We should tweet this at Jackie Chan. Like,
That's...
try and get his opinion on this.
Yo, that's actually an amazing idea.
Okay, we're gonna do that.
Yeah, do that.
You know what? Anyone listening, if you have Twitter, can you also tweet this video at Jackie Chan? Just because we want to know, does Jackie Chan even know this game exists? And what does he think of it?
Yeah.
All right.
Did you know about this game before, back when we were kids? Like, were you completely unaware of this game, or had you heard of it, seen it? Because I mean, it is one of the black box classics, so it's sort of in that group of, what is it, 25 or 30 games?
It's
or
like the
whatever
first run of games for the Nintendo all had that black box
with the black hang tab on the back that hung in the display case.
Yeah. I don't know if I knew very much about it. I think where I really sort of learned what this game was the Angry Video Game Nerd. Because he mentions it. I don't know if he plays it. I can't remember, but... oh, shoot. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, fair.
Yeah. Anyway, those are our thoughts on Kung Fu. What do you guys think of Kung Fu? Is it a game that you guys have fond memories of? Do you have any cool tips or tricks or just memories you want to share? If so, let us know in the comments down below. And thank you, Jordan, for... he got paused there for a second.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I stunned him with my good looks.
Yeah.
Thomas's, that coiffed hair.
Yeah. So thanks, Jordan, for playing this game with us. And guys, if you enjoyed having Jordan here, make sure to let us know about that in the comments, because we could probably get him back.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, this good time.
Cool, good times. And we're going to continue trying to save Sylvia here. But
see if we can get another dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just for bragging rights.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Don't let your girlfriends get kidnapped by mysterious evil ninjas.
It's good advice.
Yeah. And peace. Oh, right in the head.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, this is Mr. X. Oh, you made it.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, it's a weird glitch. Look at this. All you do is just do this.
See, if you fought him normally, would he just kick your butt?
Yeah, you want to see?
Yeah.
Here,
try and get that last hit on him legitimately.
If he kicks me like once, it's like half your power.
Oh.
It literally is half your power.
He didn't look too bad. I feel like the ape is worse.
The ape.
We saved Sylvia again, though, guys. So there you go. All right, now we're done.
All right.